my name's Allison if you are new here, and today I am sharing an entire kitchen declutter, going through every cabinet, every nook and cranny, every space, except for the pantry. There's already an entire video on that. I'll share that here if you want to watch that video. But today I'm going through all of our dishes, mugs, pots, pans, all of the good stuff, and decluttering everything. So if you are ready for some good decluttering motivation, kitchen cleaning motivation, maybe some organization ideas, make sure you're subscribed and like this video, and let's get started. The first thing I want to focus on is decluttering this cabinet, and this cabinet. They are the largest cabinet spaces we have. This one goes all the way to the back of the cabinet, so that has tons of like deep space. This one has all of our everyday pans and pots that I reach for constantly. And this one's also really large. It goes all the way down that side, so tons of storage space in here. And the main motivator for filming this today is we actually bought a new trash can. So this is our trash can we've had for like a year and a half, 2 years now. It has worked great. It's a trash can. But we do have a dog, Bucky. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with him, and he has been loving getting into the trash. And we're tired of finding trash all over the floor whenever he's left alone for like 2 minutes, and it's also just not safe for him. So on Amazon, I went and grabbed a very, very simple plastic trash can that has no lid. I think it's about the same capacity, and my goal today is to declutter enough that this cabinet right here can become our trash cabinet. That way Bucky can't get into it, and it's gonna be out of sight, out of mind. And I think the kitchen will overall look nicer because we won't have a trash can sitting out here, and we'll stop scuffing up this wall that the trash can sits on. So major improvements. So I'm gonna start by pulling everything out of these cabinets. You guys know how I like to declutter. Take everything out, look at it all in one place, and then reorganize. So this cabinet I'm emptying out right now is probably the largest storage space in this kitchen, and it's gonna become the new home to all of our pots and pans. Since I'm eliminating that other cabinet that I have the everyday pots and pans in, I need everything to be moving over to that left cabinet. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of purging, a lot of downsizing, and thankfully there are a lot of pots that I know that I just never reach for. I think I have 2 or 3 pots that I've never once actually used, and that is such a good sign that it is time to let that go, let someone else enjoy that and cook with that and have it leave our space. I do not need all of these pots and pans, and guys, it can be a little bit extra to take everything out of your space and look at it all at once. I know it's really overwhelming, but it really helps me let go of things easier. When I see this massive pile of all of the kitchen pots, pans, cooking gadgets, all the little doodads we have in our kitchen, and I know I don't use about half of them, it makes it so much easier to let go of this stuff and let it move on to a new home. So I'm gonna start sorting through everything that's up on the counters right now, and then we're gonna see how much we can get rid of. We are making good progress. This is my donation pile. All of these pots, I've probably used some of them like these once or twice, but I have duplicates. I have other pots and pans that do the same thing, so I don't need to have multiple sets. This came from a beautiful wedding gift we got, and honestly, I think we're gonna be blessing somebody else by sending these off to Goodwill so somebody else can enjoy and cook with them. So that's gonna clear up a ton of space in these cabinets, and I still feel like we have a ton of pots left over, but I use each one for a purpose, so I feel good about all of them because I'm not holding on to anything like just because. Everything has a purpose. Like this is for pastas. I like to do bread in the Dutch oven. This is for like a cast iron skillet. These are non-stick options. This is, you get the picture. I'm gonna start clearing these cabinets out. They are a little bit dusty and crummy. Like this one has some crumbs in it, but I am gonna start putting things back where they belong. This was the only other item I bought for this video besides the trash can. I did want to pick up one of these pan organizers because I used to have one, but it actually got lost in our moving process. I think the movers actually forgot to pack it in one of the boxes and it got left behind in our old apartment, and I have seriously been missing having a pan organizer. These are so helpful for compacting all of your pans and storing them, 1, organized, and 2, in a tighter space. So I knew one of these would be a great idea to slide into this cabinet to keep all of our pans there, because we are eliminating 2 big shelves from our kitchen space. So I'm going to be assembling this. It took me a little while to figure out how to get all of the little grips on the bottom, but once I do that, it's pretty simple. The 2 pieces just slide together, and then you'll see me start to organize all of the dividers on it to space out all of our pans and our pan lids. That's another feature I love about this. I don't have to store the pans with the lids. I can store the lids and leave them behind if I don't need them. That way they're not sitting out on the counter or getting dirty or forgotten about, and it's one less thing that I end up having to clean while I'm cooking. Now I've just placed the rack inside of the cabinet, and it only took up about 2/3 of it. So honestly, if I wanted to slide even more things back into this cabinet, I could, but you'll see that we have honestly plenty of space once these pans are all organized that I don't feel the need to be squishing tons of things behind these. It created so much space and so much organization in these cabinets, even though we were eliminating one entire storage space in this kitchen. I noticed that the top shelf probably wasn't the best spot for all of these pans though. The shelf itself is not very well supported, and I did not want this to come crashing down. So you'll see me here move this down from the top shelf to the bottom shelf, which is honestly a little bit less convenient. I have to bend down a little bit farther to reach these pans, and now they're even farther from our oven, but the functionality of it, we just had to make it work in this kitchen. It was the best option we had. I am happily surprised that all the pans and lids now fit on that rack, and I have the crock pot left over, but I do reach for this crock pot at least once a week, so I use it enough that I think it's worth the cabinet space. I'm just a little worried about the strength of this top shelf, so I'm gonna hold off for a second before I fill this space up. There's plenty of room in here, but maybe I'll move some lighter weight items over here and save this for another spot. I'm thinking maybe in this cabinet down here, who knows. I'm very excited though to clean this cabinet out and get the trash can in here, because that's the whole point of this project, so I'm tackling that next. If we weren't renting in this space, we would have loved to install rails, that way we can easily slide the trash can in and out, but we don't want to damage the cabinet, so we're going to live with just kind of tilting the trash can out when we need to throw something away. I remembered there were some things stored above our refrigerator that I actually wanted to put in that last corner cabinet, so instead of organizing all of our kitchen appliances and mini gadgets we keep in there, I decided to go through, empty out these 2 cabinets above the refrigerator, and then we'll move over there. This space is kind of a catch-all space. We don't go in here very often. I need a step stool to even reach up there, so I never really feel that bad just stuffing a bunch of random things back there, so that it was kind of a gold mine to find things that we don't need that we can pass on and we can send off to Goodwill. So this bin right here is from IKEA, and it is full of all of my little baking gadgets. Sprinkles, piping tips, cookie cutters, sifters, and even a fondue maker. So I'm gonna downsize this a little bit. I think we had maybe 3 cookie scoops in here and a bunch of things I just never reached for. So I'm gonna downsize this a bit, combine it with our handheld mixer that previously didn't fit in this bin, and then move it all into these clear acrylic bins. I had these left over from our pantry makeover, and everything that I use in this video will be linked below. So if you like any of these organization bins, you can find it down in the description bar. This second bin is going to be for all of my smaller kitchen gadgets, so my blender bottles, measuring cups, onion choppers, random little things that don't have a home are going to stay inside this bin. Okay, this cabinet is actually so functional right now. I'll start on the bottom. In the very, very back, we have our waffle iron, and then behind this air fryer, we have our coffee grinder and extra coffee grounds right now. And then in front, we have our air fryer and our George Foreman. But I love this little setup right here because if we're doing burgers on the George Foreman, we're definitely making French fries in the air fryer. So it makes sense because its opening is so small. If we're doing the burgers, I'm definitely pulling the air fryer out, so that opens up space to also pull the George Foreman out. So that works really well in our house for such a small opening in the cabinet. And the top shelf has our blender, the tall part, like the large blender attachments directly behind it over there. And then these two clear bins were left over from the pantry makeover. The far back one are all of my baking supplies, so my hand mixer, piping tips, sifters, cookie cutters, all that good stuff is in there. And in this bin are random cooking appliances and gadgets. We have onion choppers, measuring cups, blender cups, all kinds of things. So that is very functional now. I was able to empty out this white bin, which I think I'm going to be using under the kitchen sink. And now above the fridge is empty. I think I'm gonna put some things back up here, but I really like how this space is freeing up. I'm gonna start using the warming drawer underneath our oven to store most of our baking pans, circular pans, all of that good stuff. I also keep a couple loaf pans and muffin pans to the right of our stove, and honestly, those just didn't fit in there very well, and that cabinet on the side is pretty functional, so I'm gonna leave it as is. And now I'm gonna go above the fridge again. On the left side of that cabinet, I'm going to put all of our baking dishes, the disposable aluminum ones, and also a pie dish, those glass Pyrex containers, those kinds of things. And on the right side, I'm gonna kind of make that our liquor cabinet, so any of our adult beverage. love mugs. Well, I should say that I love mugs. Christian would be fine drinking out of a specific mug every day for the rest of his life, but I love variety. I love buying Disney mugs, mugs from different trips and vacations. Mugs are probably my favorite souvenir, and I love to collect them. And I have downsized my collection significantly over the years, but we still struggle to keep all of it pretty contained. So I'm basically just reworking this entire cabinet. Not very much is being decluttered out of here because we do use most of these items, and I kind of have a sentimental attachment to most of these mugs, so I have a hard time letting go of any of them, but I do think we can organize this space a lot better. We do store our coffee filters, and our water kettle in there, and they previously were on that bottom shelf, so it's easiest to reach, but I realized that our tea is on the second shelf, and I reach for the tea like 3 times a day and never have a hard time with that, so I'm actually going to move all of our coffee and tea to that second shelf. That just makes more sense to me to have it organized that way, and then all the mugs will be spread out evenly on the bottom shelf. Next thing we're going to go tackle is underneath the kitchen sink. One of you guys actually mentioned you use these white IKEA bins to organize these giant trash bag rolls from Costco, and I tried it out but couldn't quite get it to work. Maybe another time, maybe a different size of this bin, but I am just going to leave the trash bags rolled up like that and use this IKEA bin to store all of our extra products. I have a couple loose things like dish squeegees, Brillo pads, sink stoppers, so I'm going to stick those in this bin to contain them, and then also all of our bulk sized items. And everything that's a smaller size, I'm going to leave on this Lazy Susan turntable. I love this turntable for underneath the sink. It keeps it super organized and easy to access all of these cleaning products. Are going to repurpose this in the garage. Christian works out there a ton, so I think he's going to appreciate not having to walk inside the house to throw some trash away. So still going to have a good home and a good purpose. It's just not going to be somewhere where our dog can eat it. I'm going to call this one successful decluttering project. All of this stuff is going to be making its way to Goodwill or the trash if it's broken, but most importantly, it's leaving this kitchen. Truly, I can't believe all of that stuff was crammed inside these cabinets because it's just so not functional or helpful or useful in any way possible. I will be showing you some before and after shots of these spaces to show how much more functional, how much more wiggle room there is, spacious, organized, all of the positive adjectives there are. But I'm gonna call it a wrap on this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like. It really tells YouTube that this video was awesome, that you enjoyed it, and it helps grow my channel, and I appreciate it so much. And I will be seeing you all in the next one. Bye!